youth. And like all the narcissistic enclaves of our society, dance is sport, dance is glamour factory, it's a passion compounded of physical mastery and an idealization of the human form. So naturally, for me, it takes me to NDT3 and the flux that happened in 1991, which, thank God, for Yuri Kilian, Matt Zeg, Hans van Manen, and William Forsyth, who were all sort of late 30s, early 40s, and were known as the European Quartet. And they were questioning that dilemma because they were experiencing it themselves. And Kilian created this wonderful mature dance company, which, as I said, was formed in 1991 to 2006, and it only ended because of bureaucratic reasons, which is terribly sad. But as you can see in this photograph, we have the original former, the founding members, Sabine Kupferberg, Alida Chase, Nicholas Eck, and Gerard Lemaitre. And this had never been done before, it was new ground. And Kilian himself said, these mature dancers have fantastic physicality and physical presence, history in their bodies. So, if I can get this right, I very fortunately, crazily, flew to The Hague for an hour in January to meet Sabine Kupferberg and Gerard Lemaitre. And I can tell you it was the most extraordinary experience. So I'm just going to see if I can actually get the timing right on this. And I'm not very good at this. So hang on a sec. I never quite work out where you've got to on this, so I might not get it right. I've got no numbers on here. Can you hear that?
Not very well.
Not really. Cool. Hang on, I might just go back, because I can't see the numbers on this. It's too small. I'm going to guess. But it's good. No one can hear? Okay, we'll forget that. That's okay. She was basically saying that when the company was formed, she said people's general perception was, she said, was that they were all going to be in wheelchairs because they were 40. And that, who the hell would want to look at a bunch of dancers? And she said, it was amazing because they were all in fantastic physical shape, they danced beautifully, and of course they knocked the socks off everyone because people had been then watched them all over the world perform. But yeah, there was that consensus that they were over 35, 40, so surely they'll probably need walking sticks or they'll be injured or whatever else. At that time, Dutch dance critic Eva van Schaik, with discussing NDT3, said that attention for the elder dancers should be seen not as a justified cause for the involved dancer, but also as an artistic need for dance in general. So, which brings me to embodiment, which of course, is sort of normal for us dancers. We just live it, we are it. Elizabeth Schwager stated that the dancer's body at any age carries a specialized embodiment, and their instrument is their physicality. The aged dancer's body carries such a strong dance vocabulary and should be valued. She goes on to challenge that the performativity of the dancer could only exist because they hold a lifetime of dance experience within them. And this is only possible because they are aging dancers. The mature dancer's body is the instrument of their physicality. So the lived body experience of dance and kinetics of time and space, both inextricably intertwined with dance. So corporeal value. Dancers and educators Mark Howard and Helen Newell discuss mature dancers' corporeal ability, their embodied experience and maturity, and state how undervalued their presence is and would be if they were totally alienated. They celebrate the mature dancer's embodied corporeal difference as a welcome difference when compared to the youthful other. And in fact, Mark, who I met at last year at the Elixir Festival, had this wonderful expression that he calls a dance by date, which I thought was very funny.
Bit cheeky.
But yeah, that's pretty much how it goes, isn't it? And then they go on to say that the dancer's body is a phenomenological breathing curriculum vitae. So stating the mature dancer's body has a lifetime of corporeal experience that should be utilized, celebrated, and not discarded because the youthful dancer is considered the preferred form. Which leads me to the extraordinary Eileen Kramer, who is a mere one wanting coffee or a croissant, and then I exercise and completely forget about the coffee and enjoy myself. And then I get up and do a few bar exercises. It's so good for the feet. Such wonderful exercise. Muscle memory. How quickly it all comes back. Well, talking of muscle memory, in January, I was very fortunate because I've been working with 4 British dancers in London as well as the Australian dance houses in Sydney. But in London, I joined Roger Tully's ballet class. Roger Tully is 86 and has an incredible reputation as a dance educator and teacher. And in this class, there are quite a few ballerinas and dancers, and I have to say it was quite intimidating because they were all just amazing. And on one of the classes, Naomi Sorkin, who's on the far right, who's a former ballerina with American Ballet Theatre, who's every inch a ballerina, suddenly said, "I really feel like I'm dancing." And we all kind of went, wow, I hadn't even thought about that before. Because so often we separate class from performance, when actually they're one and the same. And it really just completely changed my whole way of doing class now, because every time I'm at the bar, I just think of Naomi saying something that's so obvious, but so wonderful. Because we do kind of forget, we become a little bit robotic. So here are some of the dancers. And this studio has got an incredible story. It was used in the 1930s by Dame Ninette de Valois, Dame Marie Rambert, and Tamara Kasavina. And I defy you not to feel like dancing with such history in the room. It's an incredible experience. And here we have Nicholas Mins, 62, former Les Grands Ballets Canadiennes, and Susie Crowe, 57, former soloist with the Sac-d'Oise Royal Ballet. Taking instruction, the learning never ceases. Now, I mean, watching these people in class, when I saw them from behind, they looked about 30. And to see them still asking how they can make things better, it just blew my mind. I just thought, wow, even at 62, you still can't get it right. You're still trying to find the right way. So here are 3 of the 4 dancers warming up before filming for my little film, which I have to say with this, it's being shown tonight, which is 8 dancers, aging from 57 to 68. I also sent out a questionnaire as a primary research to about 30 dancers in the UK, Australia, Holland, Sweden, Canada, and asking them how they feel as mature dancers, you know, their performativity, their exercise regimes, their thoughts on being a mature dancer. And I have to say, it's just so wonderful, because so often dancers speak with their bodies. Suddenly we have a wad of paper and they've written down everything they feel about being a dancer, and it's wonderful. So the first person I was very lucky to spend an hour with in London was Leanne Benjamin, who was just delightful. And one of the things she did say to me was she believed her performances were of a high standard, not just performing well for a 47-year-old, which I thought was amazing. Louise Le Couvalier, I've been working with her for the past couple of years, and her answers were extraordinary. This is a woman whose first language is French. She wrote pages and pages and pages in English and blew my mind. She's incredible. Charlotte Offerholm, who's an extraordinary dancer with Jus de la Vie, who I'll be meeting in October at the Festival of Mature Dance at DANscienCE. And Wendy Houston, who I think is about 55, British dancer who just won Best Dance Performance in the UK last year. Mature dancers rock. And of course the extraordinary Australian dance artists who they've been working with me with the primary research and my film, who are just extraordinary, and I still get goosebumps because I used to watch Anka and Patrick when they were members of London Contemporary Dance Theatre as a young student, and I still can't believe I'm actually talking to these people. They're just incredible. Finally, Anne Dickey, who's also in the research and the film, has a dance company called From Here to Maturity. And she says, at last people are beginning to recognize what some of us have always known, the value of the creativity and experience of older people. And dancer Nicholas Mint, and who's also a dance critic, said, these are not older dancers strutting their stuff past their virtuosic prime, as some older dancers have been known to do, but offering us the rich territory of individual and shared dance experience. And finally, age is no deterrent to ending dance. It is keeping us young. Thank you.